Hi there, folks. It's Saturday, March 28th for us. I think it's. I meant the thought occurred to me right before I signed on to check the days, but I think we're in. I think we're in day 12 of lockdown here in Southern California. We sort of self quarantined a few days before it was said that we should probably everybody do it. But anyway, I hope I'm on. Maybe if someone could pop me a quick text. I'm watching the comments right now. Let me move down here and see if I can see some of the other ones that are coming. Confirm that I'm on with you. That's my best way of knowing. Okay, so I'm getting oh good. Okay, I'm getting a you're on from my friend Lori. But somebody said we crashed Facebook, but I think Ron is in Canada. I don't know if that has anything to do with the servers up there. And Vivian is here. Very good. Hey, Alan is back. Hi. I know. I love it. I could just have a nice weekly chat with hi Jackie, how are you? How are you and Jerry doing? Thank you so much for saying hello from Texas. Boy, I wish I could be in Texas right now. I'm in the mood for ribs, therapeutic ribs, lockdown ribs. And Matt, hello. Okay, this is very cool. Oh, and my friend Nora from high school. How are you, honey? From Micronesia, Bill. Wow. I don't have that many Micronesian fans as far as I know. Yeah, Ron. Ready for a quarantine. I know. I love that you coined that. I think that's a very cool thing. And oh, and hi, Missy. How are you? Anyway, people are asking how I'm doing. We're doing good. A little bit of cabin fever, but we have a wonderful home that we've been blessed to lease and live in for the last 15 years. So we've got some room and lots of entertainment options. And whoops, let me turn off make sure my phone is turned off and make sure that is silenced. Okay, we're getting John checking in from Virginia. And Cheryl from Cleveland. Man, I was scheduled to actually be in Powell, Ohio, in an upcoming weekend in April, but we thought on an abundance of caution we should probably go ahead and reschedule. I've still got a couple things on the schedule officially at the end of April, beginning of May. And, right now there's no need to do anything drastic. If we need to reschedule things, we can do them right when we come up on them because the whole world is, everybody's schedule is upended, so. Oh, and Bill from Idaho. Oh, Dawn, how you doing? I had the privilege about 3 weeks ago to play for Dawn and Wes's wedding on the Queen Mary. Beautiful ceremony. The bride was gorgeous. May I say that respectfully as about a woman who's not my wife. She was so gorgeous, and it was such a beautiful ceremony. And Dawn and I and her family have some history, so it was a real sweet thing to be part of. Oh, Chris Maxwell's checking in. Georgia, right, Chris? I want to say Florida, but I think it's Georgia. Chris is a wonderful author and poet, and I've got, in fact, if you were to zoom in, you can see a couple of Chris's books on my bookshelf and behind me. All right, we got more from Canada. That's good. I want some Timbits. That's what I really want. That's not perhaps not the official Canadian food. All right, listen, I'm going to sing something. I realize I could spend the next hour saying hello to people, and that would be okay with me. But so I'm going to start where it all started for me on vinyl. Side one, cut one. There's a man down in the street, says he is the Messiah, telling people he is the chosen one. Says that he is in the Father, and the Father's in the Son. Empty nets made full of fish, and blind eyes that see. Didn't he used to work with wood in Galilee? Now he's in the synagogue, telling people they are wrong, till there's whitewashed tombs full of dead men's bones. Some say he is the Son of God, others laugh and call him mad. Do you think he's who they say he is? Or just a carpenter gone bad? People talking about him wherever I go. They say he teaches with authority. This is something I don't know. They say it is his fervent prayer that we'd stay in the Father's care and believe that he is the Word made man. Say he is the Son of God, others laugh and call him mad. Or do you think he's who he says he is? Or just a carpenter gone bad? All right, song number 1 on my very first album came out, well, now it's about 40 and a half years because it was released in the fall of 1979. I got a couple people to say hi to. A lot of people are, oh my goodness, Wayne Schumann, how you doing? Is it still China proper, Wayne? Forgive me for not remembering exactly. I know you're in the Pacific Rim region, but I forget where you are. Have to say hi to Keith Edwards. If you scroll down a little bit on my timeline when you get a chance, you'll see a wonderful selfie that Keith took last week during my marathon birthday concert. So I'm now designating Keith Edwards the official poster boy for all Facebook Live concerts. In fact, I thought about this, and if you want to do this, fine. I know this sounds a little bit like Tiger Beat or Fanboy or something, but if you want to email me or post on the timeline a selfie of you in front of your device or TV or something, if you have the capability to do it. I thought that was really cool. Keith had his laptop and took a wonderful picture in the mirror of him holding it. Also, he cracked me up because I was on for 3 hours and 45 minutes, and he texted me and he said, "Bro, I've already cooked and eaten a steak tonight during your concert, so please feel free to cook and eat a steak if you got them tonight." Also, I need to say hello to my dear sister-in-law Evie and my brother Mike from Missoula, Montana. And I'll tell you just real briefly, because I could go on and on and on about this, but the whole reason that I have a life in music is really because of my brother Mike. Not only did I draft off of his record collection when I was a little kid, and he was I don't know if behind the scenes he was like, "Hey, don't touch my records," but he let me handle his records and play his records, and then eventually he learned how to play guitar, and then he taught me how to play guitar when I was 10 years old. And took me out to all of the folk clubs and hootenannies and all this stuff. So you have to understand how extraordinary it is to have an 18-year-old young man take his 10-year-old brother out for music and stuff. This is not the normal behavior of high school-aged, testosterone-fueled young men. But my brother found a way to do that. And so every note that I play for you, every note that I sing, my brother literally is responsible back at the very beginning for all of that. So I love you, Mike, and love you very, very much, my brother. So I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But that's my brother, Michael. Oh my goodness, Fletch Wiley. Oh man. Okay, so now with Keith and Fletch on the timeline, we have the great musicians aboard now. Oh my gracious me. Hi Fletch, how you doing? I know exactly who you are. Haven't run past a mention of you in quite a while, but man, so glad to know you're here. And my friends the Neffs, Donna and Bob from Ohio, are checking in as well. Oh, Evie is saying that I'm making Mike cry. I feel my job is done now, right? You can make your brother cry. It's a good day at the office. Okay, I'll sing again in a minute, but I'm having a moment here, okay? Jeannie and Todd from Houston, great to see you guys. Thank you for coming aboard. Oh my goodness, Don Godwin from Baja, from still around Rosarito, right? And Don is a good friend, good longtime friend. And glad. Oh, Ben Carr from Long Beach. That's very cool. How you doing? And Ted Brandt. I just played at Ted's church up in Oxnard before the big lockdown happened. We had a wonderful time together. So thank you, Ted. You know what? Ted is doing something very cool, Pastor Ted. He's not only sending out daily resources for worship, which is kind of neat, but they're doing a total drive-in church kind of thing. They're sort of tearing a page from the old Schuller playbook, because most people may not remember that Robert Schuller started a church as in an old, before they built all the buildings and all that stuff, they did it at a drive-in theater. So if you belong to Ted's church or want to visit, you can go to the website and download the order of service and the lyrics and stuff. Then you tune into your FM radio. You can keep your windows up if you need to do that. And then you can actually pull into a parking lot. And under any other conditions than a pandemic, you'd kind of shake your head and go, oh, really? No, maybe not. But this is so ingenious and so cool. I can't tell you how much I admire the ingenuity of you doing that. So please give my best to the congregation there, Pastor Ted, and to Steve as well, Steve Sally. Somebody's asked me if I remember playing in Cato, New York. I don't, but that's, please don't be offended. I am uniformly forgetful. If only, 35 years ago when I started doing this, I kept a record of where I was, put pins in a map or whatever. So it's really just a crying shame that I don't have a log of everywhere that I've been and people that I've met and so forth. So I don't remember that in particular, but... Oh, Harry is checking in. Harry Offit. Hi, my friend. Good to see you. And Karen and Steve from Canada again. My friend Lori Lewis from Albuquerque. Lori and Cliff. And perhaps Coach as well. All right. I had a request for a song that I haven't played for a while. So if you don't mind, and I hope that you don't, I'm going to quickly on my Mac here, I'm going to call up a lyric so I can pop it in front of me electronically. I need to get an iPad or something, right? I need to join the 21st century and wait a minute, just a second. I need to join the 21st century and get lyrics on my... Okay. There we go. I got a request for a song that was on my first album by the late, great Jonathan Brown, the man who just taught me how to make records and worked with me on my first 3.5 albums. And the reason I say that is because the 4th album was the greatest hits that we added 4 new songs to. But this is a song, when I first heard it, I just fell in love with it. And so I'll do it for you now. It's a song called I Belong to You by request. Oh, hey! Oh, my goodness, my nephew's checking in. Hello, Matthias, how are you? From Hawaii, I believe now, right? Formerly of Morocco, now Hawaii. Sam Rizzardo checking in as well. Hi, my friend. Saw him last at Cornerstone Church in Long Beach, where I'm scheduled to go back in June, God willing. All right. Boy, the visiting thing, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm having too much fun. So, I belong to you. I'd like to ride. Oh, wait a minute. That's the best. I started out singing the best. Okay, I'll do that later. Sorry. Think of that as the mental equivalent of dropping the needle on the wrong track, okay? It seems I've been lost in my mind. My head is spinning round, goes round and around. The road is nowhere in my sight. I have no purpose. My vision is gone in the night. And the man I'd been trying to be, well, he wasn't me. Never a dream come true. And there ain't nothing I can do. All that is left me is to submit my life to you. And I don't know why it took so long to break me. And I don't know what kind of man you're gonna make me into. But I know you won't leave me when the changing is through. It's good to know that I belong to you. Your return is at hand, and it's your perfect plan. We've got to tell the land. And when I think of all the time that I have wasted, Lord Jesus, it makes me want to cry. And I know there's a work I can do, but it's up to you. You are my dream come true. And now my life is in your hands. All my desire, Lord, is to obey your word's command. And I don't know what kind of man, why it took so long to break me. And I don't know what kind of man you're gonna make me into. But I know you won't leave me when the changing is through. It's good to know that I belong to you. Take me now, Lord, and break me. Make me into what you want me to be. 'Cause I know you won't leave me when the changing is through. It's good to know that I belong to you. It's good to know that I belong to you. All right, almost on point. That's okay. I don't play that song as often as I should, but when you have as many songs recorded as I do, there are just some songs that don't get played as often. It's nothing against the songs; they just don't wind up on the playlist as often. Got some people from Pennsylvania, also checking in from Dundee Hills, Oregon. Byron is there, and Kathy Earp, and love to Kathy and her husband Jim Earp, guitarist extraordinaire. See, I love this. I'll tell you what I totally dig is everybody visiting in the comments. And I've said this before. If you normally I don't like people to talk when I'm singing, but I feel free. So for the second week in a row, we've got like Keith Edwards. You're one of my favorite drummers, and then Keith will come back and say, "Thanks, bro." And so we have these conversations that break out on my timeline. I just think it's hilarious. It's so cool, man. Oh, snowing in Canada. Oh, Ron. So much for March, huh? Oh, yeah. Okay, David. I do remember playing Tracy Tyler. Yeah. I think I had the town listed as his hometown, and then we might have played in Cato. So I remember Tracy. Haven't been in touch with him for many years, but I remember those dates. You know what? I'm getting a request for a song that I just don't play that often, but I'll try to do it next week then. I'm going to try to check in each week. I got a request for More Than Halfway Home, which is a song that I wrote, and Billy Badstone helped me bring that song on home, and then we recorded it for a record called Jesus Music Again. I don't know if you guys, some of you may or may not be familiar with that album. If you go look for it under Batstone, Bennett, McDougal, you'll see a record called Jesus Music Again. And we went and re-recorded acoustically a lot of the really cool songs from the era that we liked. And More Than Halfway Home was a new one that we decided to... Okay, I'll do that. I did a bunch of stuff last week, and so, but I'm getting requests for some things, and if you don't mind repeating, I'll go ahead and do them. Just think of it as the Facebook Live equivalent of putting on the same album that you put on last week. So my friend Steve Hopkins, just literally like a brother to me, he and his brother Chris, asked for "Sing for My Life." So I will do this for my friend Steve. I love you, man. In fact, if I get this wrong, Steve, you should remind me. But you should put a link up if you can on the timeline, Steve Hopkins, and you can look for that, folks. Steve and Chris just released an incredible book that they wrote and Chris illustrated years ago, called "A Tale of a Champion," I believe is what it's called, and it's a really great book. And forgive me for I don't have the reference fully in front of me. But I ran across a mention of that on Facebook last week, so you might want to check that out. It's a pretty great book for kids. It's one of those kids of all ages kind of books. Okay. I don't think I'm supposed to tell you just how much this means to me, and how I can't uncross the lines between this thing I do and the man I'm supposed to be. There's a question in the back of my mind. Who knows what is really true? I sing these songs and you listen to me, but who's doing the favor for who? And I am singing for my life. I am singing for my life now. It seems almost all of my life I've held on to this piece of wood, and sometimes I am tempted to think it's the only time that I can do any good. Sometimes when I stand up to play, I am a lonely and desperate man. These songs are the only prayers I can pray, so I sing them just as hard as I can. And I am singing for my life. I am singing for my life now. And in the middle of the congregation, voices are raised and hearts are pure. I carry a deep, dark secret now I am so unsure. And then I pray, oh Lord, come and tear me apart. May the words in my mouth fall to my heart and remind me why I live and breathe. Is it not to know you? Is it not to believe? So I am singing for my life. I am singing, singing, singing for my life now. Oh, I am singing for my life. I am singing, singing, singing for my life now. Oh, I am singing for my life now. Oh, I am singing for my life now. All right, singing for my life. Hey, I got other people that oh yes, that's great. Feel free to sing along at home. This is one of those times where maybe we'll do a Zoom session or something. It'll be a complete train wreck, but I think it'd be great to have everybody singing all at once. Percy Howard, how are you, my friend? Man, we have not been in touch forever and a day. Last time I was in touch with you, Percy, you were up in Sacramento. I don't know if news had broken up by then or what was happening, but absolutely I remember you. We had some fine back and forth a while back. So hope you and your family are well. Thanks so much for checking in. That's very cool. Percy is a very talented writer and singer in his own right. We got a timeline full of people like that, apparently. Okay, we got a few requests here, so I'm not quite sure which ones to play here. Let me oh man, I'm getting requests for stuff that I haven't played a lot lately. I'm going to go back through these comments and I'm going to make a list of the things that I haven't played very much lately, and I will try to get to those. So next week, my goal is to try to dig deep into the catalog and do a bunch of goofy stuff that I haven't done for a while. So I'm getting a little message here. I said hi to Bob and Donna in Ohio, but I'm doing it again so that so they will know that they are greeted and loved from afar. Well, Lee Bartlett is here as well. Hi, Lee. How you doing, my friend? My last encounter with Lee Bartlett was kind of a summit at Torchy's Tacos in San Antonio. Oh, I love me some Torchy's Tacos and would crave some now. I will. I'll try that. Okay, let me, just for the heck of it, I'm going to call up the lyrics to that one just in case I get distracted. So give me just a second, and I will be right back with a... someone wants me to do Small Graces, and I should have that completely committed to memory, but just in case. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, I'm going to put it up just to be safe. Hi, Alan Roweth. Alan's a good longtime friend, man. If everybody was as supportive of musicians as Alan Roweth is, we'd all be living closer to the beach. Alan has got a wonderful group on Facebook that is dedicated to, and especially relevant now, dedicated to trying to get musicians on board with live streaming. Before this was the thing that everybody has pivoted to, not everybody was on top of it. And so Alan has a wonderful Facebook group where he's encouraging people to get out there and do it, and instructing them on the kinds of hardware and software to use and venues to go to and things like that. So All right. This is called Small Graces. Sometimes they slip by without notice. Sometimes they're very hard to see. Other times it's also clear when they're happening to me. Bright penny on the sidewalk, can't buy nothing by itself. When I hold it in my hand, it's a tiny piece of priceless wealth. These are the small graces, the little moments when the miracles come. These are the small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Smile that is not automatic, that lingers on a little more than the time it takes to count my change, the time it takes to close the drawer. These are the small graces, the little moments when the miracles come. These are the small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Small graces surely have a meaning beyond their merely passing by. They are a reminder to the heart there's more to life than meets the eye. More to life than meets the eye. Oh, cheerful greetings unexpected, shared by strangers on the run. When the sky is clouded over, still the promise of the sun is in the small graces, the little moments when the miracles come. These are the small graces, small graces leading me to the larger ones. Small graces, little glimpses of the kingdom come from unexpected places. These are the small graces. All right, there we go. Your basic B- version of Small Graces. I gotta go relearn the bridge, don't I? Hey, my brother Tim is here. My brother Tim. So that's great. All three Bennett brothers are here together. Gotta tell you, my brother Tim is an extraordinary writer. He writes poetry and short stories. I want to really encourage him. He's preparing to collect some of these things in a chapbook, and he's just a really great writer. I mean, and I can be courteous and everything, but I can also be a little cranky. And sometimes when I run into writing that's not that great, I try to be encouraging and so forth, but I won't call it great if it's not great. But my brother, Tim, is really, really good. So between my brother Mike being an extraordinary musician, instrument maker, lifelong teacher of guitar, bass, banjos, mandolins, being an extraordinary musician in his own right, the musical DNA on either side of me is going pretty well. Tim is a wonderful musician as well, and he and Marla lead worship at a couple local churches back and forth, I believe, in 2 different places in Batesville, Arkansas. Let's see. I got I got a request for Garden Song, which I will do, but I just retuned up to something else. Let me hang on just 1 second. Did I do? I don't remember if I did Heart of Hearts. I think I might have. I'm thinking out loud here. An old Mark Hurd song. I did so much during the 3-hour and 45-minute extravaganza. By the way, all of that is on Facebook as well. So, and I put song cues. So even I wouldn't scroll through 3 hours and 45 minutes of Bob Bennett Facebook Live. So if you go to the Facebook page and you've got a browser up on your desktop, I don't think it works on smartphones and pads and stuff, but you can actually click on song titles and then go check out various things. Oh, okay, good call. I will do that. Got a request for "Can't Find My Way Home." I do that in a medley with one of my own songs, "Defiant Lamb." This is a classic tune that was done by Blind Faith, and I've always loved it. So. Come down off your throne and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting so long. Somebody holds the key. Well, I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Come down on your own and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds the key. Well, I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. And I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. 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 Coins through my pockets, days through my fingers. I cannot find them, try as I may. For I have spent them on foolish pleasures in a foreign country so far away. Now I am wandering across this landscape, walking in circles by my own choice. No fire in the heavens, no wind in the treetops. Cannot see you or hear your voice. When I'm out here on my own, surrounded and alone, when I squander your mercy as an ungrateful man, can you still find me hiding in the corner, innocent convict, defiant lamb? I should know better, that's what I'm thinking. Pleading ignorance won't do for me. I'm not mistaken, I'm not misguided. This road I've taken deliberately. So why am I wandering? I've got excuses, but no good reasons to ease my shame. I am not worthy to live in your household, to be your servant, to bear your name. When I'm out here on my own, haunted by the home that I once knew so well, as a God-fearing man, can you still find me, this great pretender, behind the mask of defiant lamb? I thought my heart would be like a garden where life would spring up from seeds you've sown. But little by little, the thorns took over, and now my heart has turned to stone. That's why it's easy to be so careless, betray this birthright from above, to curse my reflection in the mirror, hurting someone you truly love. When I'm out here on my own, in this valley of dry bones, my prayers are mirages, my faith, it's just a scam. Can you still find me? Is there a road home for a bankrupt believer, defiant lamb? When I'm out here on my own, a defiant lamb. All right, there you have it. The classic Blind Faith, Can't Find My Way Home, paired with one of my songs, Defiant Lamb, on the album The View From Here. I want to take just a minute for a word from our sponsor. I have just opened a revamped store on bobbennett.com. And if you go to bobbennett.com, click on the store, I now have downloads for many of my albums. Some, there was licensing things, and so some of them do not have downloads, and some have CDs only. And almost everything, by the way, these days, almost everything that I'm selling is now like a plain disc, like burned on my computer with a Sharpie and a signature and all that. CDs are really a specialty item, although there are people who are committed to all that, and I still listen to CDs as well from time to time. But everybody's streaming music through their devices, and but it is there for you. Two things of note: an official release of on download of both Small Graces from 1997 and Songs from Bright Avenue from 1991. With Songs from Bright Avenue, I've newly written and recorded some song-by-song commentary tracks on all of the difficult territory in some of the songs of Songs from Bright Avenue. I talk a little bit about why they were written and a few of the insights that I think I might have gained in the intervening years between then and now. So feel free to, if you're in that mood, to cruise on over to bobbennett.com and look around. There aren't any concerts listed, aren't very many listed for the foreseeable future because of all the uncertainty. But it's my plan to come here every week. Maybe a little more often, but at least every week on either Friday or Saturday. I'm going to alternate between Fridays and Saturdays so that people who have differing schedules on their weekend days can check in as well. And also, I'm going to mess with times. I'm thinking very much about the few listeners that I have over on the European continent and around in those time zones, and maybe doing something in the morning so I can catch people in other time zones right now. I would expect that Wayne Schumann is probably into the wee hours of tomorrow or something by now. And so I really appreciate those people who are up at the wrong hours to hear me sing. I really appreciate you coming on board. You know, John is asking me if I have some new songs that I have not done here. I do have one new song which I'll try to play next week. It's one that I have not really played out very much, and I wrote it in about 20 minutes, and then I went and played it at a concert that I was opening for my friend Steve Bell years ago, and I played this song. The song was literally about an hour and a half old, 2 hours old by the time I sang it for an audience, and so... Okay, that's right. Watching from Vietnam. Okay, so 8 a.m. So not bad. Okay, I'm getting lots of requests here. So I'm going to do Altar in the Field. Now with these sessions, as I'm going to be doing them more often, got them scheduled for an hour, but you know me, something could happen and I might stay a little longer. But it won't be 3 hours and 45 minutes. Oh, I've got to show you something. I have a new graphic that I'll be using. Now, I don't need it right now, but I wanted to see if it'll work. I'm going to pop it up on the screen here real quick and see. Let's see if I can get it to work. Hold on. Here we go. That's my new graphic for when, you know, if that happens. Did it show up? My little graphic? Good. Talk about a guy who has too much time on his hands. That's me. So, the song Altar in the Field, for those who might be interested in the backstory, the way that it used to work, now I sort of carry everything on an iPad, and I carry a few legal pads around of things, but back in the day, before all everything was digital, I would literally put, batches of legal pads in my suitcase when I went to record in Nashville to have all of my song lyrics at the ready in case I felt something. So one day, I recorded Small Graces at Michael Card's old studio called Mole End. And don't get me started on what a wonderful man Michael Card is, because he is, and I've got some stories there, but I won't digress. But I was recording, and Phil Nash and Ronnie Brookshire were co-producing this record. Incredible guys, wonderful men and very talented men. And they were setting up the studio for the day, and I was sitting in the control room at a counter, and I was just looking through my lyrics. And I came upon the first few lyrics to Altar in the Field. And I started playing around with it. So what I did is I went back to where I was staying. I don't remember if it was a hotel or where. But I went back to where I was staying in Nashville, wrote Altar in the Field, and then recorded it the next day. So here's the interesting thing. If you were to do A and B between the version I'm about to play you and Small Graces, the version on Small Graces runs a little faster. I decided I was going to play it a little slower after I recorded the song. So, oh my goodness, Nancy's back. It's my weekly honey tree sighting. Hi, honey tree. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? I love it. I love it that you come every week. This is so sweet. And I hope we can be in touch. Last week she was asking if I could help her do this, and I'll do as much as I can remotely. But would you not love to spend an hour or so with Nancy Honeytree Miller, one of the women who invented the genre that I'm playing in. So I want to encourage you, if you can get this done, you know people are going to go crazy, and they're gonna give you lots of love and lots of encouragement, and just be thanking God that you're still singing those great songs. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring for a Honey Tree Facebook Live if we can get that done. So anyway, so this is the song "Altar in the Field." I build an altar in the field, so I'll remember back to this time when it's so real that I am loved and not alone. And if I pass by here again, I'll be able to see my life was scattered like these stones till the Lord began to gather me. I built an altar in the field, so I'll remember. I build an altar in this field in honor, in memory of the many graces I've been shown and the ones I've yet to see. And so I leave this symbol fashioned by my hand, the marker of a love that I will never understand. I leave an altar in the field. When I'm lost inside my sorrows, overtaken by my fear, when I am wandering in this wilderness, perhaps the Lord will lead me to this altar in the field where I'll remember. Oh, I will remember. All right. Altar in the Field. Oh, Nancy from still Arkansas, but soon to be Wisconsin, checking in from Hot Springs, Arkansas. All right. Let's see. I got a couple. Let me scroll back here. I got a couple comments that I want to check out here real quick to grab those questions. And I've heard that we've got some. Wait a minute. Heard that we got some requests for night shift. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, my brother Tim addressed that, but yes, I think I had seen the Hopper painting. That wasn't directly the inspiration, but the Nighthawks at the Diner. Of course, Tom Waits has an incredible record called Nighthawks at the Diner, which is typically great young Tom Waits. But yes, I think I broke off a little piece of that. That painting is so evocative. Okay. Let's see. Let me see here. Oh, hold on just a second. All right. I know this is thrilling, isn't it? That's okay. Hold on just one second. Short concerts are good. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I know my attention span is kind of flighty too. So you can just ask my loving wife. So someone was remarking that. Let's see. All right, what we have? Okay, we're good. Good, and we're getting lots of Honey Tree Go Facebook Live feedback, so we need that. Oh, thank you. Getting some mentions there of the tip jar. Thank you for that. I just put that up there for those who might feel inclined, but please know that last week everybody went kind of nuts, and my wife and I can't tell you how grateful we are. But I'm grateful for every last person that shows up. You know, everybody is not situated the same, and I totally get that. This does my heart good to do what I love to do for you. And if I were sitting in this house and couldn't pick up a guitar and couldn't sing and stuff, it would be pretty tough. Oh, hey, Carrie, Gary, and Shannon. Hi, sweetie. How you doing? Oh, friends from Silver Spring, Maryland. I played. Has it really been 2 years ago now, or a year and a half? Gosh, I feel terrible. I think it may be about a year and a half ago now. But I had such a great time. I actually went. Carrie had me go and play, and I'm for a dear friend of hers, and I played a house call concert for her. She passed away a few months ago now, but I was able to, on an afternoon in Silver Spring, Maryland, to sing for her and some of her friends and family, and then also sing at Carrie's church. So we had a wonderful visit, and so that was very cool. And say especially hi to Shannon. Thank you for lending me your wonderful room and giving me a great place to land in your home when I stayed with you, Shannon. It was really good, sweetie. Appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is good. Yeah. Oh, hey. Yep. Pam from the Wesley Foundation. Hugh Bob. I don't know what it was. Somehow I forget the circumstances under which I got tagged with the moniker Hugh Bob I used to play at the Wesley Foundation in Lubbock, Texas. Forever and a day. I'd go there all the time, and it was such a great audience. These guys were so cool. So, oh, hey, that's great. Reverend John is back from Powell, Ohio. Beautiful Savior Lutheran Church. Well, I will be appearing on a date to be determined. Oh, Karen and Steve. All right, yes, I'll do that. All right, she asked for the place I'm bound. And yes, I tend toward the mellow and the melancholy, but every once in a while I can step it up. But even though this is kind of an up-tempo tune, keep in mind it's a song about death. So, you know, I'm kind of still in my wheelhouse here, so. See, I love it. People are greeting each other on the little comments timeline. This is so cool. I wish I had a way to, like, send you all snacks, you know. My music always sounds better if you have snacks in hand. All right. Oh, let me try that again. That was a little... Let me try that one more time. As my father before me, and so now I could pause to reflect on the day I will die. As they lay me down in the cold of the ground, remember I am closer to the place I am bound. A few final words will be spoken, I trust. Be as kind as you can, and lie if you must. And remember me when I was at my best. It's instead of used up lying with these flowers on my chest. Sometimes death is like a thief in the night. It steals every treasure that is hidden in plain sight. But I do not flatter my own memory, for I will miss you every bit as much as you'll be missing me. I wish I could be there to brighten the mood, with friends and family and mountains of food, and stories and memories and tales all around. But it's late and I must travel to the place I am bound. And I hope that the Spirit of the Lord will not mind if you toast me with spirits of the Irish kind, and raise your glass as the blessing is said. Meet me in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. As my Father before me, and so now I pause to reflect on the day I will die, as they lay me down in the cold of the ground. Remember, I am closer to the place I am found. Alrighty, place I am bound. Little death song to cheer you up. Oh gosh, I know this is a weird situation to even make that joke, but we don't in any way minimize what some people are going through right now, and perhaps it might seem a little in bad taste for me to have even done that song, but I think that two things can be true at once. I know, I'm a card-carrying Christian, and I feel as though, and in saying so, I don't mean that to be a demarcation. I'm just explaining the context for what I'm about to tell you next. I fully trust that when I die, that God will complete the work that He has started in, and that I will get to spend eternity with Him. So I'm not worried about my fate in that regard, and yet I'm still afraid to die. I'm afraid about pain, and will it end well, and will I cause too much pain and suffering for the people around me, and yet I can rejoice and I can sing a song that has some humor in it about the subject of death because of that hope. So I'm not meaning in any way to be inappropriate or not mindful of the circumstances we find ourselves in when people who are being sick and people who are losing loved ones are at the front of our consciousness right now. So I might have, if I'd have thought about that, I might have chickened out, but I hope that's okay with you that I sang that song. We did get some requests, and I'm not in any way upbraiding anybody for the requests or anything. I'm just saying there's a context here for that song, and it takes into account the joyful and also takes into account the sorrowful. I got got some remarks about my guitar, as I always do. This is a Ryan guitar. You can see the stylized R on the headstock. This particular model that I'm playing is called the Mission model. Now, Kevin still builds the Mission model upon request, but it's actually been replaced by a model called the Paradiso, which has some of the new construction and new things that he has innovated that are now a part of the Paradiso design. But this guitar is about circa 1997. I also have a Ryan Cathedral, which is a larger model. And instead of having this, it has like more of the Florentine cutaway and a little bit larger body and all. That's the guitar that, if you hunt up last week's Facebook Live, that's the guitar that I was playing then. Okay. Hang on just one second here, folks. I'm going to check something on my telephone just to make sure that I didn't miss something important from that side of things. Hold on. Oh, for goodness sakes. This has got to be thrilling, huh? Okay. I've got some song requests and so forth that are coming. And, oh, you know, I want to give a shout out. It rolled by on the timeline and I meant to say it. My friends Karen and John Ferraro are watching down the street from their home in Newport Beach, and they are dear, dear friends. As I always say, if you know me and know about my history, my lifelong best friend since I was 10 years old is Dan Ruppel, and Karen Ferraro is my loving wife, Elena's Dan Ruppel. They are the best of pals and can complete each other's sentences and all kinds of stuff. John, of course, is a consummate musician and just a real good man. If I had 10% of the great work ethic of John Ferraro, I'd be a much more well-adjusted and productive human being. So he is a wonderful man, an incredible musician, and glad to have them both aboard tonight. They're good friends. So until we can sit in the living room together and eat snacks and visit, this will have to do. Somebody asked for Together All Alone. Let me see if I can play that. I'll put up the lyric here real quick, just as a cheat in case. Oh, I got to spell it correct. For those, until I get my lyrics on an iPad thing together, those of you who might be wondering what in the world I'm doing, for the geeky among you, I've got a wonderful app on my Mac and my iPhone called Text Expander, and it basically you can take a block of text and then you can put an abbreviation. It's kind of like a word macro thing, and you can put an abbreviation and then it will pop up that entire text. So I have my entire lyrical catalog under abbreviations. So if I want Together All Alone and I want to pop it up in an email or a piece of paper or something, I put TAA and the word lyric, and then it pops up right in front of me. So that's what I'm doing when you... Wasn't that fascinating? Wasn't that thrilling? Who else does this? Do you think Sting is talking to people about how he uses his computer? I don't think so. But he is watching you every breath you take. He's doing that, but he's not talking about his Mac. Okay. All right. This song, I made up every last person in this song. This is a work of fiction. But if you do your job right as a songwriter, sometimes works of fiction can do some truth-telling at the same time. And so as long as you don't presume to make up stuff and call it true, like some authors have done and people have made documentaries, and they've sort of got caught with their hand in the cookie jar of not telling the truth. But for songwriters and playwrights and screenwriters and authors and so forth, creating things out of whole cloth sometimes is a really great way to get an absolute concrete truth across. So anyway, Brian, the one who was together all alone in the story, is sort of our stand-in for what it feels like, because everyone knows what it feels like to be in a crowd of people and to yet still feel isolated, misunderstood, alone. It's part of the conundrum of life. So, Brian's on the football team, but he's only second string. He's got a locker full of books, but he doesn't know a thing. He never says what's on his mind, like his daddy to the bone. And he's living with the rest of us, together all alone, together all alone. His girlfriend moved away last year to another school in town. She's got a brand new boyfriend, but she sometimes comes around. She bounces his heart like a basketball, and when his folks are not at home, she slaps his hand as they lay on the couch, together all alone, together all alone, and far away a shepherd tends his sheep. Days full of grazing and nights full of sleep. While Brian is in school all day, the old man drives a truck. He says it's a hell of a way to live, but it's a way to make a buck. He rolls home after the house is dark, his heart as cold as a stone. And he lies back to back with his wife in the sack, together all alone, together all alone, and far away a shepherd tends his sheep. All right, Together All Alone. That was on the album Matters of the Heart. And I don't know if he's still around on the timeline, but the great Keith Edwards played drums on that. And Keith, you may not know this. If you don't catch this comment, I will try to post it later. But back when Jonathan and I were recording the 4 new songs for The Lord of the Past, this is back when Jonathan was using a drum machine to lay in some of those things. In fact, whenever he would do drums, I think his nom de plume for drums was Marvin Steinberg, and then he did a bass, and it was another Steinberg. I forget. It was like the Steinberg brothers. And when Jonathan was doing drums, and I forget which track it was, but Jonathan sampled your drum sounds from Together All Alone and then used them on the track. So this is back before we knew that I don't think you got paid a thin dime for that, my brother. This is back before we understood the ethics of what that might mean, to sample somebody's stuff and then use it on another recording. So I might owe you money, I don't know. But yeah, you got such a tasty drum sound, and I think if I remember on Together Alone, I think you were doing brushes or something. But it was just the most sensitive, cool track. To the point where Jonathan sampled it, and you appeared on another of my albums, I think, with not even knowing it. So how about that, huh? Okay. Let's see. All right, we got a request for another Matters of the Heart song. I am dancing, though I'm not sure why just now. I tried to be sober, I tried to be logical, but I could not stop my feet. I know I have not turned off my mind, I lights outside, and I'm in my room. Joy is like a crashing tide. I don't want to burn no books, don't want to argue rock and roll. I don't want to shoot anyone with my high-powered doctrine gun. Let the madness roll on like a hungry beast, 'cause no one will miss me for a half an hour at least. A song came this morning and woke me, and as I listened, then I found that I was not alone. I was standing, moving, dancing, dancing on holy ground. I don't want to burn no books, don't want to argue rock and roll. I don't want to shoot anyone with my high-powered doctrine gun. Let the madness roll on like a savage beast, 'cause no one will miss me, no one will miss me, no one will miss me for a half an hour at least. No one will miss me, no one will care, oh, no one. In the middle of this madness, oh, oh, in the middle of this madness I am. Middle of this madness I am dancing. All right, Madness Dancing. That one, John Ferraro played drums on. The way that I remember is the way that we sequenced the songs. For continuity, it worked out great. John Ferraro played on side one and the first song on side two, and then Keith Edwards played on all the rest of the songs. So in a bit of canny song sequencing, we transition from one great drummer to another. Alrighty. Oh, I want to give a quick shout out here as I'm dialing up some lyrics. Quick shout out to my friend Kevin Stevenson. Hi, Kevin. Hope you and Jenny are tuned in a little bit and doing well. Safe at home as we all are. When we're done with all this lockdown stuff, I'll drive to Fullerton and we'll break burritos together or something, okay? Would love to do that. This song is a song called Faithful. It's on the album Joy Di Passaro. And, I would never want to... I'm Mr. kind of disclaimer when I come to introducing these songs, so you're going to have to just pardon that. But I would never want to say, that you don't try, or that, sometimes in Christendom we can get a little bit lazy, and we say, God's going to cover me, and it's all in His keeping. But sometimes those true statements provide cover for us to not try very hard. There is actual effort involved in trying to be a disciple. It's not earning effort, but it's effort nonetheless. In any love relationship, you don't just kick back and take it all in. It takes effort to love back, and that is part of our calling, and part of the way. No matter what you believe or don't believe, that's part of it. But this song I wrote in 2012, I think, when I recorded it, and it's just me, just sort of just praying. The Bible says that it is without faith it is impossible to please God. It doesn't say without perfect, flawless, sinless faith, although in a sense, well, there's a sinlessness because it's given to us by God's forgiveness. But that's a whole theological discussion and road I'm not going to go down. But anyway, so this is a song called Faithful, and I hope that it is blessing to you. Thank you. I'm seeing many of these comments roll by, and thank you so much for everyone checking in. Empty vigil in ink black night, I awaken to the same refrain. I make no claim to second sight, just a blind following the blind again. My stubborn heart always misleads, away from the little light I can see, adrift in the tide of my own misdeeds, wishing I was who I never could be. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. I'm easily fooled most of the time, but nobody's ever going to dig too deep. We're all in a hurry to somewhere else, with distractions and too little sleep. I got a list of questions long as my arm, and the only second chance I see to live and die without permanent harm, as if God can outmaneuver me. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. What makes a man hunger for truth? Then ignore what little he understands. He blames it on age, blames it on youth, props up a dead man with both of his hands. If only the pure in heart will see the glory of God one endless day, I pray your spirit will remember me and the stuttering prayers I try to pray. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that I would hear your voice, and I would follow you. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that I were true. Oh, that you would know my name, and I could be with you. I could be with you. I could be with you. Oh, that I were faithful. Oh, that we would be found faithful. Got a request for this. I have a couple more songs here. I'm gonna end at a half hour past when I said I was going to. I've got to discipline myself here a little bit and leave some for next week. My goal, we'll see how it goes. Lord knows I have time. I'm going to try to learn some deep catalog songs that I've been getting requests for. Somebody asked for. Pardon me. I've got a. Just a tickle in my throat, not to worry. got a request for like playing the part of me and More Than Halfway Home and some other songs like that. So I'm gonna to get those back up this week and put them under my fingers and sing them, and I'll come back next week. If you have anything that you want to hear, I'll tell you what, you can either do one of two things. I'll put a separate thing up for next week for requests because I may not be able to scroll through everything tonight. Or you can just send me an email to bob@bobbennett.com, bob@bobbennett.com, and put next week request. And I won't be able to get to everything, so we have to have an agreement that you won't get mad at me if I can't get to all the songs. But just know that I'm grateful for you to be with me and to have an interest in even caring about this stuff. Oh, hey, there we go. Hi, Steve. Also, a quick shout out that went by to David Holland. How are you, David? And Doug from the greater Baltimore area. We'll always have Bertha's muscles, Doug. He took me to a place, literally more than 20 years ago, in the greater Baltimore area called Bertha's Mussels. And they have every kind of preparation of mussels known to man. And Doug has been like a one-man army for me over the years, and listening and supporting and just being such a great guy to me. So hopefully I will see you again very, very soon, my friend. My friend Lori Lewis in Albuquerque, we've been going back and forth. We have been goofing around and threatening to do a little live, Facebook Live kind of back and forth podcast together. And she has what I trust is a healthy obsession with the singer Luke Christie now. And so she requested a version of Lightning Strikes, which I'm afraid, Lori, I will not be able to do for you tonight. I would like to apologize. Okay, I can do that. Let me see. All right, hang on just a second. I'm going to call up one other song. While I'm at it. Okay, I got a request for a. I'll end with that song. I got a request for Jesus in Our Time, and that's going to be the last song that I'm going to do. Yep, it's totally live. You get the tuning and everything. Hope you don't mind a little commercial message from one of our sponsors, me. For those of you who may be joining me a little late, I committed to just go an hour, but I can't do that. But I'm almost at the hour and a half mark, so I'm going to do a couple more songs and then say goodnight. For those of you that are tuning in a little late, this will be archived on my timeline on both my music page, which I think is more of like a public thing, my private friends page, which I'm happy to say I've got a gazillion friends, and they have this thing called Facebook followers, which just sounds semi-cultic to me, but I have lots of Facebook friends and followers on my personal page, and then I have a Bob Bennett music page, and then there's also a page that a friend set up for an event years ago, and we just kind of turned it into a page. It's called An Evening with Bob Bennett. All of those places you can go back and scroll down the timeline and see what we're doing right here now. But I also have a tendency to post everything to Facebook, and I'll put the links up for that. And if you're on a computer with a browser, I have clickable times and song titles, so you can go and do that. All right, I did receive a request. From and as part of the commercial, I have a new storefront up, and we have downloads now of Small Graces and Songs from Bright Avenue. Songs from Bright Avenue, I newly wrote and recorded song by song commentaries that are now included with the album. So So I'm going to play the title song from Songs from Bright Avenue. It's called Here on Bright Avenue. Okay. I hear sounds above the shuffling of my feet as I make my way down the strange familiar street. The holy sound of families, their dinners on the wind. Will I ever be able to sit at that table again? I did not want to be here where the future is in store, but my name is on the mailbox and my key fits in the door. Living in this present tense is the best that I can do. It's clear that I am supposed to be here on Bright Avenue. Hope that hides in darkness, healing under pain. Roses asleep in the winter, but the spring will come again. This time is set in motion by design and by my due. It's one foot in front of the other here on Bright Avenue. Questions with no answers, and the distance in between all my wishful thinking and the fool that I've been. I cannot reinvent myself to suit everybody's view, but I can see there are plans for me here on Bright Avenue, here on Bright Avenue, here. If those who sow in tears will reap in joy somehow, then surely I am watering my fields of future now. My feet will walk a golden street, and when all is said and done, I will be found on holy ground as a good and faithful son. I'm walking toward a promise that frees this convict heart. The Lord will never lose me, and He can finish what He starts. And when I least expect it, I believe these things are true. It's as if to say I am on my way from here on Bright Avenue, here on Bright Avenue, oh, here on Bright Avenue, here on Bright Avenue, oh, here on Bright Avenue. I am here on Bright Avenue. Here on Bright Avenue. That's here on Bright Avenue. Thank you for those who are requesting all these songs. Someone's asking if I can put all of my albums on Apple Music. Some of them I can, and some of them I cannot. It's a licensing thing. And I'm aware of the fact that if you've got an iOS Apple device, they do not make it easy to get things on your phone. You can do it, but it takes some doing, takes some know-how. Well, someone's asking me if I remember Weddington Studios. Boy, you bet I do. This was, I don't remember who the other owners are, but I remember Bobby Cotton was one of the owners of Weddington Studios. And we recorded Matters of Heart in Weddington before it officially opened, which meant that the equipment was there, but there wasn't like any decor or furniture or anything like that. And while we were recording Matters of the Heart, laser discs were an absolutely brand new format. Do you remember the big laser discs? They look like even larger LPs, but they were all digital. And we did two things. We hooked up a laser disc to the television in the studio, and we watched two things. We watched the Blues Brothers, and we watched Joni Mitchell's Shadows and Light, which is just an incredible. Oh my goodness! Okay, I just got word that my friend Alex McDougall is on the line with us here. Alex, another consummate musician, a wonderful man. He's one of those guys who's really done as much incredible stuff behind the scenes of music as he has directly as a player. He's one of those guys. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and do one more song and then sign off for the night. So for those of you who joined a little late, again, you can catch this replay on my Facebook timeline. I'll also upload to YouTube. I am likely, I'll announce it soon, I'm going to make a decision. I'll probably go Friday night this next week so that people who have a day thing will be able to catch one of these. Also, give me some feedback on whether or not this was a good time. I tried to make the time a little bit earlier and keep it down to an hour and a half so that we don't have people on the East Coast who are essentially falling asleep to the sounds of their humble acoustic servant. So hopefully this is good. Oh, hey, hi, Ed. Ed Crabtree is in the house. Very, very good. Good to see you, my friend. Between Ed and also, I don't know if he's still here, but Brian Quincy Newcomb wrote in the past when they were contributing to Christian magazines and media. These guys were incredibly nice to me, writing great reviews. In particular, Brian wrote an incredible review back in the day of. Don't touch your face, by the way, like I'm doing. I apologize. Don't touch your face. Don't do as I'm doing. Back in the day, Brian wrote an incredible review of songs from Bright Avenue, which my goal is to scan all this stuff and then basically get it online. Oh, okay. I'm getting word. Getting word that my friend Sandy Lindell is here from Washington. I know. Don't ask me about the speakers. I'm sorry, but I still have them. And one of these days, but one on my bucket list is hooking up the Sandy Lindell speakers and enjoying them. But all my vinyl is like in a corner of my garage. I can't even get to anything. So, but that's like everybody's garage, isn't it? Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more song, and then I'll say goodnight. Thank all of you for coming and for tuning into this. I know you have a lot of stuff you can be doing, and everybody is live streaming, so. Be sure to go out and support other people that are live streaming. I talked briefly on the phone this week with Brian Duncan, who called me and said, how are you doing on the live streaming thing? And I really encouraged Brian to get out there. Would you not love an hour or more of Brian Duncan online right now? I know I would. That guy is amazing, and he's funny as all get out. So I'm encouraging everybody I can find to. There's room for us all. There's a lot of time. I just got a little text reminding me of something, and that is that we're going to take just a minute to pray before we leave. And I've always thought in the past that sort of praying on media things is kind of hokey, but I'm a little less strident about that in these troubled days as I am right now. And so since we really are all together and kind of reacting in real time, and some of you may be singing. Well, somebody said they had got out their guitar and were playing songs with me in real time. So that's pretty cool. So let's just take a moment to pray together as a little community, and then I'll release you to one more song and a good night. Okay? All right. Father, thank you so much for another week where where most of us, Lord, are safe and sound and in good shape. But Lord, we remember tonight those, especially I remember our dear friend Peggy and her son James, as James is, and ask, Lord, that we would be able to fill in the blank right now as we pray, Lord, with so many of us gathered together, to fill in the blanks with our thoughts and of people who are struggling right now for a variety of reasons. If they're shut in, or they're dealing with a little cabin fever and depression, and those who are having health difficulties, whether those health difficulties are a result of directly what's going on, or whether they have predated the circumstances that we find ourselves in now. Everyone, Lord, who is hearing my voice, whether in real time or later, Lord, we pray for those who are struggling and who are dealing with the physical things. And Lord, we also know that these just the shadow of that this stuff could happen to us. Lord, it's not a question of us not trusting you. We trust you. But these things are naturally, Lord, a little fearful and concerning. And we know that you've got us, but we also know that your having us in this life does not insulate us from things happening, Lord. If only it did. But we do pray that you would keep your hand upon us and would keep us safe and healthy. But whatever circumstances come to us, that we would be faithful to you and faithful to pray for those family and friends around us. Pray for the troubled world that we live in now. And Lord, I know it's not your style to bully people with anything, but I just trust, Lord, that these troubled times would give people pause to again turn their hearts toward you, toward thoughts of you. And Lord, that many people would hear and believe the gospel, would turn their hearts to you, Lord Jesus. And so, Lord, we don't look upon this as evangelism by bullying, but just, Lord, that folks would naturally ask questions that they might not normally ask, and find themselves thinking in directions that they might not normally think, Lord. But whoever hears this, Lord, whether they are inclined to believe the gospel or whether this is far afield from what they care about and believe, we yet pray for the souls of all who are gathered together with us now, and thank you. And thank you for this gift of music. Thank you, Lord, that songs find their true meaning when people hear them. Thank you for all the people that are hearing these songs and give these songs a context that matters. Thank you for the honor of singing for this group of people. In Jesus' name, amen. Sorry, a little wandering there, but hope it was all right. So this is a song that I wrote many years ago about what it feels like to me to gather with other people in a room. We're told that where 2 or 3 are gathered, that the Lord is amongst us by his Spirit. And so now, especially in a time when we can't quite gather together in the same way that we're used to, we ask that the Lord will transcend the boundaries of physical space and time and use these means to draw us together, as I think he has here a little bit tonight. So I take no credit for that. I just belong to him, and I do what I know how to do. So, half step up. There we go. Countless legions of the faithful, crossing every generation, hand to shoulder in an unbroken line. Lead us to this Sabbath morning, we humbly count ourselves among them, to seek and find the face of Jesus in our time. Though an imperfect congregation, full of folly and of doubt, we presume to ask our questions, then we wrestle with their finding out. We break the bread and pass the cup, and try to bear each other up, to live the mystery of Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. There are those who are among us who believe they are not worthy. We offer you the word of life. We bid you come and dine upon the mercy we have tasted and the love given so freely. Come take your place at table now with Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. And as he promised, so we proclaim, he will be among us as we gather in his name, to heal the brokenhearted, to ease our troubled minds. We want to know you, to follow you, Jesus in our time. Oh, oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. Oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, Jesus in our time. All right. Thanks again, all of you who have tuned in tonight. Really, really appreciate it. And I will see you probably on Friday. I'll figure out whether I'm going to start at the same time or a little earlier, a little later. But maybe pencil in Friday if you want to come back and join me in real time. And for those who I didn't get to all of your song requests, please leave a comment or perhaps give me an email at bob@bobbennett.com. Next week, I'm going to try to play some deep catalog songs that I haven't played for a while and satisfy a few requests that way and challenge myself to do a little something different and a little something fun. So again, thank you so much. God bless you, and have a good Sunday, a good rest of your night tonight, a good Sunday tomorrow. And again, as I always say, thanks to the Lord Jesus and his salvation and his good gospel toward me. Praises be to the healer of my life. Good night.